Hello, I'm Paul Webb, owner and proprietor of 3 restaurants in Hastings and Rye in East Sussex and tutor at Webb's Cookery School in Rye. And today I'm going to show you a really useful recipe. This is how to make lobster thermidor. So what we've got here is one British native lobster. He weighs about 500 grams and he was boiled for about 12 minutes. Now what we're going to do is remove the elastic bands and we're going to remove the small legs here. So there's 4 of those on each side. Just literally rip those off. We're going to rip the big claws off. Now we've just taken all the legs and claws off. What we're going to do now is just with a very sharp, heavy knife, just push down the back here and leverage down there. Nice straight cut. And then we turn it around and you can almost see a line on the head. Just follow that line. Just push the knife down so we've got a nice clean cut there. So there's our lobster half. We've got a little bit of muck in the head that we're going to remove there. And if you see this tube, that line there I've exposed now, we need to remove that because it's full of sand and silt. So we're going to just take that tube out, just raise that slightly. And what you must never do with shellfish is wash it because it's got this lovely salty flavour, this natural flavour, and if you washed it you'd just be washing all that lovely flavour away. Now just poke your finger in there and just remove that head part there. Now we're going to remove the tail meat. Right, so there's our towel, and what we're going to do is just roughly cut that. We want it in small enough pieces to all go back into the shell here. So that's our towel diced up. Now the claws go against the joint. It opens and closes that way, so go against it, just snap that off. And then this claw here, just give that a little wiggle backwards and forwards and just pull that out. There's a little bit of cartilage that's come out with that. So what we're going to do is just give this one blow. We're just going to crack the meat slightly. We're going to rock the knife and just force a crack around there. So just give it a little tap. And we just force to crack there, and we can just break that away there. And there's your nice claw meat. Now this one has still got the little cartilage inside, so we're just going to cut down to it. And we're just gently going to prise that out. And we're going to dice both our claws up as well. So that is our claw meat. Now these little knuckles we've got here, we're going to use the top blunt part of the knife now. We just give it a series of little taps just to break that shell slightly, and then we just peel that away. Be very careful when you're peeling it because it's got this armour, all these sharp pieces on here. So just peel that shell away. And once you've got a big enough hole, then we'll scrape the bit of knuckle meat out of there. Now all of this here, that is going to go into our lobster stock to make our thermidor. So this is all our meat here. We've got the 4 knuckles there, we've got the 2 diced claws, and that's all our towel meat there. Right, now to make our lobster thermidor, we're going to need these ingredients here. I've got some chopped flat leaf parsley, I've got some butter, I've got a little bit of Dijon mustard, some finely chopped shallots, some diced tomato, we've got some cognac here, and I've got some lobster stock. If you remember all our shells we had earlier, what we do is roast those off, add a little bit of tomato to that, some mirepoix vegetables, bay leaf, little bit of thyme, celery, onion, tiny bit of garlic, little bit of leek. Cover that with water, and we just let that cook for about 40 minutes simmering. And then like you're making any other stock, once that's done, we remove all the vegetables, all the shells, pass that through a fine sieve, and then we concentrate that down to really get the strong, intense flavour. And this is what you end up with. That started life as about half a litre of liquid. So now we're down to sort of about 100 mils of liquid there. But it's got this lovely, rich, intense tomato shellfish flavour. And that is what makes the dish. So what we're making here is a sort of a binding sauce to go inside of our lobster shells, with all the lobster meat in there as well. And then later on we're going to make a Mornay sauce which is going to be gratinated. So it's going to have a little bit of Parmesan on and an egg yolk in, so we get this lovely bubbly crust on top of the fish. So just sweating these shallots off. We don't need any colour on there at all. Into that we are going to put a splash of cognac. Just burn that alcohol off, so we're left with the nice sweetness of the liquor. Once all the alcohol is burnt off and reduced down, we're going to pour some of this stock in here. So probably about 50 mils, 25 millilitres per lobster is sufficient. And we're just going to warm that through gently there together now. And into that we're going to put about half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. We've got some tomato diced here, so it's been peeled as well. So that is the equivalent of 1 plum tomato. And we've got some flat leaf parsley in there too. Right, here's our lobster meat. I'm going to put the sauce into a bowl here. We're going to add all our lobster meat to that as well. Just going to season that. The lobster's already naturally salty, so it won't need any more salt. And now we're just going to fill our lobster shells up. So it's just a question of packing it in nice and tight. So you just want enough sauce to moisten the lobster meat there. You don't want it to be too wet. I'm going to put my Mornay sauce on top of the lobsters here. If you want to know how to make Mornay sauce, look at my video, how to make Mornay sauce. So we're just going to drizzle some of this. Again, it's important to do it while it's still warm and nice and fluid, because it will get thicker as the sauce sets. So basically fill all the little crevices, make sure it's nice and smooth. And see the consistency of the sauce, it's not too thick. You can actually still see the lobster meat through the sauce. And we're just going to sprinkle a little bit more Parmesan on the top, not too much. Remember how strong the Parmesan is. Right, these are going to go in the grill now. Probably about 2 minutes just to glaze nicely. We want them a nice golden brown colour. And that's how to make Lobster Thermidor.